Hello YouTube, this is Dark bringing you another video about D2Etal Resurrected. Today we're going to be talking about the rusher and rushee and basically how we can use the rusher entry script to rush a character from 1 to at least Diablo or until Ancients. Obviously you can't bypass Ancients. You have to be level 20, 40, or 60 depending on which difficulty you're on. However, what we can do is use it for getting to those or we can use it for socket quests or whatever else you want to use it for. So how do we do this? Well, first of all, you're going to need 2 sets of classic keys. You're going to need 2 sets of Lord of Destruction keys. And we're going to need 2 profiles. The profiles will be as follows. Your high level character that's going to do the rushing will use the NTRUSHER entry point. And then your rush E is going to use the NT map entry point. That's what I would suggest. And make sure you save these and make sure that you create your CD keys and make sure that you fill them in the CD key section. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to log in. So kind of a caveat with the tool that Colbot doesn't have to use. So don't forget that part. It's easy to do. Because we're going to be using the NT map entry point, there is an extra thing I want to mention, and that is if you go into the configuration file for NT map for your character, you're going to see this nt config life chicken, nt config mana chicken. I would actually suggest turning this to 0. The reason for this is because we don't really want to exit the game when we're actually running around and trying to get the quest done. If we die, it's not a big deal. You're level 1 anyway. It doesn't really make any difference if you die. Or even if you're level 20 or whatever. None of that's going to be that detrimental. To find this, we're going to go to Scripts, NT Map, Character Configs, and you're going to find your character in there, and you're going to edit it. If it's not in there, run the map profile first, go into a game, and then it should come in here, and you should be able to edit that afterwards. I'm also assuming that you've done the bot setup before this, so there are certain aspects of this that I'm going to skip over. So if you don't understand something, feel free to ask in the comments below, but I'm probably just going to forward you to section 3 of the Etal setup videos because it goes over how to do most of the profile editing and starting of the bot and the configuration settings. So if you need help with that, please check the link in the description below. Okay, so the first thing we want to do before we go and edit anything is start our rusher profile. I'm not going to show it because we've already seen it before. You start it, it logs into the game, or excuse me, logs into the server, creates a game, and then it shows the little character configuration complete. Please press stop on your manager. I'm going to cut to the little tidbit of me showing that in a different part so you can see what that looks like. Okay, so once that's done and you've pressed stop on your manager, just like I showed in the little video tidbit there, now what we need to do is we need to go into the NT Rush folder and we need to talk about the command list real quick so we can understand it better. So the command list is going to be specifically for the rushee. Once you start the rusher profile, you're not going to do anything with it except for join the game that the rushee is in. That's it. And then you're going to leave it there. So the command list for the rusher is as follows. So you can see all the different things that you can do that you can make the rusher do. We can do individual quests and we can do entire acts or we can do all the acts. And the way that we can start this and the way that we need to start this is by pressing enter and typing master. What this will do, and pressing enter again after that as well, that will allocate your character, your rushee, as the master of the rusher. And then you can control it using these scripts. So you can use, let's say we wanted to do Anya. After we've typed master, all you need to do is type Anya and then hit enter. The rusher is going to start and go do that quest and give you the town portal. And then you take it and you complete the quest. You can also type things like .list. This will give you a list of commands in game. And you can also type .end if you're ready for the rusher to just exit the game and leave. So you have lots of options there. If you ever forget what they are, you can come back in here and you can take a look. I will demonstrate how to use this specifically in the actual game at the very end. It's an older video of me showing a few extra things, but it's still relevant today. It still works exactly the same way. So we're going to cut to that eventually. Once you're done with that, once you have this, you can just leave it up and reference it if you need to, but you can also do the dot list and it will list all those commands for you so that you don't have to. Also, before I get too far ahead of myself, the last thing we need to do is configure the rusher, just like we did for the bot profile. So once you've created the profile for your rusher, it's going to be located in here under the rusher's name. As you can see, I haven't done that, but since you would have already done what I told you to do, it will be in there. And you're going to open it up and you're going to edit it. And this is where I'm going to cut over to the older video to finish up and explain and demonstrate how this actually works. The first thing you'll need to do is go into the configuration, rush configuration or rush_configs. Open up your character's file just like you would for the bot, and you're going to see a bunch of stuff in here. Now, this is where you can change what the bot will do. And you can see here that you've got not only all the quests you need to complete the acts, but also all the quests that will do your resistances like Anya and your skill quests like the Den of Evil and Radamant and things like that. So you can set these to true or false, whichever way you want them. Your subscript settings are mostly just for convenience sake, not necessarily need to be changed, but I leave them as true because they're handy, or false when they're not needed. Basically, you don't need to clear CS most of the time when you're rushing because you're just trying to get through it as quickly as possible. You don't really need to have it where it clears out CS. It's just a waste of time. So speed settings, I don't think that's really necessary to mess with, but they're there if you want them. Chicken settings, and more importantly, your inventory settings. Now, if you've done the bot before, you know that the inventory settings are very important. Make sure that you put zeros to keep whatever's there, your torches, your annies, your small charms, grand charms, skill charms, whatever's there. Make sure you set it up. I've already set mine up. Same thing with your belt settings. Set that up however you want, whether it be health potions, mana potions, or rejuvenation potions. The picket settings are the same picket settings you would run for the bot, so whatever those are, you can change those in here. Same general configuration as the bot. Again, I'm not going to get into this because I don't want to take a ton of time. Immunity skipping, if you want to set that up. And last, but definitely not least, in my opinion, is your attack configuration. Make sure that your attacks are set up properly and the ones that you want. Again, these are in the skills.txt file right here. If you can't figure out what to use, they're in there and you can take a look. You've got a few other settings here, but me personally, I don't see any reason to change these because that's just me, and my way of looking at it is those are all good to go. We're just rushing. We're not doing anything extreme. So once you have that all set up, make sure you save the file, and then you can close out of that. I'm going to run the rusher script now. Okay, and then we just need to join our Rushies game. So in this case, the same as this over here. And obviously, your Rushie needs to be making the game, because if the Rushie is not making the game, it won't make any sense. Because the quest will already be completed, and you won't be able to get those quests to go. So don't have the Rusher make the game, and the Rusher won't make the game, actually. It will just sit there until you go into a game. Now, there's a couple things that we need to do. There's a couple of very important commands. One is the master command, and one is the rush command. So the ones that I think are going to be the most common are going to be the master command, which is just like this. It's a period with a master after it, and that's going to set who the master Rushie is in the game. This person can control the rusher bot completely. And so you need to have somebody that's obviously trustworthy, or somebody that knows what they're doing. Or if you're just doing this for yourself, say you want to rush a character for yourself, or you just want socket quests, say you want a full account of socket quests, you can do that by doing this and having two windows open at the same time. So I'm going to do .master. As you can see, both screens are showing that the master is now set to dark_mule4, which is my own character, of course. And then the other script that's the most important is to just do period rush all. And what this will do is it will set the bot to rush all acts, and it will just go ahead and run through and do everything for you. So, like I said, if it did help you, please help me out by liking and subscribing. I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video.